Hello, my name is Daniel Yuck. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you, your time, and your support. In this video, we're going to be doing a step-by-step follow-along of this little match design right here from beginning to end. By the end of this tattoo follow-along, we would have applied this tattoo together, and you may have a better understanding as to how to go about applying a design like this. Now, I wouldn't say this is beginner-friendly. I'm going to say it's like right in the middle between beginner and mid-tier as how I'm going to go about applying it. We do have to be accurate with the deposits, and we are going to be using a smaller needle, which brings more of a challenge. However, should you have any questions at any point throughout this video, I encourage you to drop a comment down below. Rest assured, I'll do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. Should you find this video helpful, consider subscribing to my channel and giving this video a thumbs up, as I would greatly appreciate your support. With that being said, let's just dive right on into this. First and foremost, I'm going to start by listing off the gear that I'm going to be using to apply this tattoo, and then after that we can go ahead and get into the actual technical process. So I'm going to be using a small sheet of real skin fake skin. This is going to be a wormhole silicone hand. I will be leaving my Amazon affiliate links and other affiliate links for you in the description below, so that way you can check out the gear featured in this video on your end. I'm also using Phantom Tattoo gloves, simple Scotch Shop wipes to keep the fake skin clean, simple petroleum jelly to remove the excess ink. I'm also going to be using dynamic black tattooing ink to apply this tattoo. I'm also using an ink claw blade tattoo machine with a CNC Police 5-round liner tattoo needle. I'm also using an ink claw wireless power supply, as you can see, and I'm probably going to start by running at around 5 volts to begin the application of this tattoo. The design was also placed down with spirit stencil paper. Now, that is the gear that I'm going to be using to apply this design. Where I'm going to begin technically is I'm going to start from the bottom of the tattoo design and then work my way on up, simply because I am on this side and I am right-handed. If I was left-handed, it'd be the same thing, but the camera would be on the other side and you get the idea. However, I'm going to start with the area that's close to me, which is going to be right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to involve the technique of lining, and then I'm also going to maybe use a little bit of like pendulum motions to go back and kind of sculpt lines in, and then we're also going to shade this little guy when we're done. Where I'm going to begin is, as I mentioned, right down here. So I'm going to start by getting some ink, and then I'm going to get a little bit of ointment on my peaky area here, and I'm just simply going to apply ointment to the design. I'm going to dab like so that way I don't have an excess amount clogging up my needle. And then from here, I'm going to find the beginning point where I'm going to start, which is going to be right around here. And then I'm just essentially going to use, again, pendulum motions, as I've mentioned, to kind of sculpt a bit of a heavier line weight up. Because if I were just to line like so, I'm going to get a very thin line weight. So from here, what I'm going to do is just move back and forth like this. And I feel like that's why this follow-along isn't necessarily a beginner follow-along. It's more right in the middle. It's like maybe mid-tier, I would say, because we have to be accurate every time we do these motions. And if it doesn't come out perfect, that's okay. It's not supposed to be perfect, as there is a little bit of organic movements to it, or I'm sorry, organic shapings to it. As you can see, kind of like right here in this area, the stick kind of like fluctuates a little bit out. So we're going to use that to our advantage. And I am just using the very, very edge of the tattoo needle there. I'm running at 5 volts, as I've mentioned, and I'm just going to build up this design slowly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply some ointment and then wipe away, so that way I can actually see the results that I'm getting. And then from there, I'll know what I need to do next. So I'm actually just going to come down here. There we go. Same thing right here. So what's going through my head right now is I'm paying attention to the structure of this line, the line weight of it, like how heavy the line weight is, and I'm also paying attention to my technique. I'm just using the very, very tip of the needle here like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and dab away. So you can kind of see that the idea is to slowly build up this design until we've reached the end goal. You could absolutely line this with one needle, that's perfectly okay. But I'm trying to approach it developing a different technique. So that way in case I ever need this technique, I can use it because I've already practiced it. And I like how that's coming out. That actually looks great. So from here, we're going to repeat that process with the remaining part of this design. And then I'm going to go to this side over here. Now within my fundamental tattoo handbook, I talk about multiple variables within tattooing, such as posture, position, hand speed to voltage, needle depth, the needle cycles, and I go in depth on a bunch of different tattooing topics. So if you are starting out and you're wanting to learn from a technical standpoint through a book, you can head on over to Amazon.com, type in Daniel Yuck, and then you're going to see the Fundamental Tattoo Handbook pop right on up. So I'm not applying, meaning, okay, so I'm going back and forth on this area. However, the pressure that's being applied is next to none. I'm just letting the needle cycle to deposit the ink, which is why you can kind of see that some areas are a little bit more faint. Like for example, right here, this area is just a little bit more faint than the surrounding lines. There we go. I'll go ahead and dab away and continue. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and apply this middle line, and then we can kind of work our way up to the flame there. So you can see I'm just using back and forth, small motions. And when I'm done, my goal is to have it look like it was applied with a larger needle grouping. I think the differences between a needle of this line weight versus applying it like this, like building it up, is just the little minor imperfections that this sort of design calls for. So let's say if it was like a traditional design where every line should be the same and visibly apparent, then that's different. I would never approach a traditional tattoo like this. But if it's like a little design like this, more of like a smaller design that has organic nature to it, then I would absolutely feel more comfortable using this approach than just simply lining everything in. And you can see it took about a minute or two, and then we have that middle part already there. And then now we can move to the flame and then just add a little bit of shading on this side of this stick right here, and then just a little bit in here, and that is it. So from here, I'm gonna go ahead and go back for some more ink. And then I'm going to repeat that process right here. There we go. Dab away and continue. And then I'm going to apply this area, still using just the same technique, using just the very edge of the needle. And for this area, since I need to pack in, I'm going to use circular motions from one side to the other to apply this in here. Like so. Put a generous amount, wipe away, see what we actually are working with. There we go. And then from here, I'm gonna go back, wipe away, and then all I need to do is add this flame up here, a little bit of shading, and that's completed. So let's repeat this process. I'm gonna go back for some more ink. So you can see I'm kind of like sculpting these areas here, like so. I actually prefer for a flame like this to use a swan needle, because I can get my ends, like the points right here, to a really like sharp, cool looking point, and I personally like that. So, and then you can see that the line weight fluctuation is looking cool there as well. I like the way that it fluctuates thicker to thinner. That adds character to the design. Now, what's going through my head isn't perfection. I'm thinking about flow, how I want these flames to read when people look at them. And then that actually helps guide my artistic deposits here. And I really like the way that came out. That flame looks really cool. I like the line weight fluctuations. And sometimes, you know, exploring certain aspects creatively can kind of lead you to new areas. I'm going to actually just put a little bit more line weight on this one. I was just barely using the tip of the needle there. And that is going to be that deposit there. So the last thing that I would need to do is just some whip shades right here. Like literally just over this entire area. We don't want to go too dark, so we're just going to maybe do 1 or 2 layers. That's actually really cool. I'm going to do one more cross hatch this way. There we go. Dab away. Ointment. Wipe, wipe, wipe. And we're good. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of shading right in the matchstick there, just on the left side though. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use a series of whip motions going down this way. There we go. And then over here, there we go. And let me go ahead and put some ointment on here and wipe away with a generous amount. I need to see like the gradient. That's what I'm paying attention to. the transition with the shading, and actually that looks pretty clean. I like that right there. I'm just gonna fill in this area just a little darker, just by a little, and that's pretty much it. There we go. And then from here I'm going to ointment, wipe away, and these are the final results that we got. Now granted, you can actually put some, so these are the results that we have. Granted, we can actually put shading in the flame if we'd like going up, just a slight shade right in that area. That's going to be solely up to you. I don't really feel like that's neither here or there. I mean, it would add a little bit depending on how it's applied, or it can just take away from the design together. I think for follow along purposes, we can kind of do that. I'm gonna add just a subtle shade here in this flame, but just, you'll see kind of when I explain as I go, it's just gonna be super subtle, and it's gonna go off of the already existing flame. And you can kind of see that I'm following the surrounding areas. Like, meaning I'm following the flame. So I whip this way and you can see how it curves, straightens out up here, and then starts curving back. So curve. I'm going to dab away, get ointment, place it down, and there we go. And then I will just continue this until I have a smooth gradient that I'm happy with. There we go. Ointment, wipe away, and that is exactly what I'm talking about. So less would be more, very subtle, as you can see right here. That looks more complete. So I like this route. I like that we added the shading right there in the flame. I feel like that actually completes this design right here. Now that would be it to conclude this specific follow along right here. Less is more. We have to know when to stop, and I feel like this is that point. Now that would be it for this one. If you have any questions at all, I encourage you to please drop a comment down below. Rest assured, I'm going to do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing to my channel and giving this video a thumbs up, as I would greatly appreciate your support. With that being said, I appreciate you, your time. Thank you for following along with me, and I hope you have a great day. I'm taking my time and I'm doing just fine, and I'm feeling alright today.